Welcome, horror story. The sun dipped behind the jagged ridges of the Appalachian Mountains, painting the sky in bruised shades of purple and gold. A chill rode the evening breeze as Sarah adjusted the straps of her backpack, her breath forming small clouds in the cold air. "Are we really doing this?" she asked, her voice low, almost swallowed by the rustling leaves. Behind her, Mark grinned. "Absolutely. Nobody's ever made it to Hollow Creek in one piece. Not that I believe the stories. Ghost town, haunted house, whispering walls. Sounds perfect for a weekend adventure." His words were meant to reassure, but Sarah couldn't shake the unease settling in her chest. The legends were old, passed down in hushed tones at local bars and roadside diners. Hollow Creek wasn't on any modern map. Once a bustling mining town, it had been abandoned after a series of mysterious disappearances decades ago. As the group hiked the final incline, the town came into view. Shattered windows glinted in the last rays of sunlight, and roofs sagged under decades of neglect. The air felt heavier here, tinged with the metallic scent of rust and decay. "There it is," Mark whispered, pointing to the house at the center of the town. Unlike the other buildings, it seemed alive. Shadows shifted behind the cracked glass, and a low, almost imperceptible hum vibrated in the air. Sarah swallowed hard. "I don't hear anything." Mark's smile faltered. "Give it a minute." They stepped closer. The whispers began softly, curling around the edges of their minds like smoke. Names. Secrets. Fears they hadn't voiced aloud. The kind of whispers that felt like they came from inside your own head. Did you hear that?" Sarah whispered. Mark nodded, eyes wide. "Yeah, and it's just the beginning." The group, Sarah, Mark, Jason, and Emily, entered the house, their flashlights cutting jagged paths through the darkness. Dust motes danced in the beams, and every creak of the floorboards sounded like a scream. "This place, it's bigger than I imagined," Emily murmured, brushing cobwebs off the walls. "It feels wrong." Jason, ever the skeptic, scoffed. "It's just an old house. Come on, don't let your imagination run wild." But as they stepped into the parlor, the whispers grew louder, forming words they could almost understand. "Leave, now, never safe." Sarah froze. "Did it just say that?" Jason laughed nervously. "It's the wind, that's all." A sudden slam upstairs made them jump. The house seemed to breathe around them, walls expanding and contracting as though alive. Shadows moved independently of the flashlight beams. Mark shined his light down a narrow hallway. The whispers turned into soft, mocking laughter. "You shouldn't be here. We see you." Emily's hand went to her mouth. "We need to leave." But the front door slammed shut behind them. They ran to it, yanking and pushing, but it wouldn't budge. Panic began to rise. The group split to search for another exit. Each room seemed different from the last, even though the layout should have been straightforward. Mirrors reflected distorted images. Sometimes one of them was missing in the reflection, replaced by a shadowy figure. Whispers became clearer. Mark, Sarah, Jason, Emily. The names were drawn out, elongated, full of menace. Felt a hand brush her shoulder, but when she spun around, no one was there. Jason ventured down a basement staircase. The air grew colder with every step. Faint scratching sounds echoed from the walls. At the bottom, he found old photographs of the town's original inhabitants, all with eyes scratched out. As he turned to leave, a whisper hissed, "You belong here now." Above, Emily discovered a hidden study. Journals scattered across the desk detailed the house's history. Each previous visitor had vanished, some never leaving their own minds intact. The house fed on fear, growing stronger with every heartbeat. The house began to shift. Hallways lengthened, doors moved. The friends' flashlights flickered and dimmed. Shadows emerged from corners, stretching unnaturally. A soft, echoing voice whispered to each of them individually, revealing secrets only they knew. Fear overtook reason. The friends tried to regroup, but the house disoriented them. Every path seemed endless. They could hear one another, but when they turned a corner, the person ahead vanished. Sarah stumbled into a room with a cracked mirror. The reflection was wrong. Her face was pale, eyes hollow, lips moving silently in a scream. Behind her, the shadows of her friends flickered like dying flames. A loud, deafening whisper filled the house. "You can never leave." The walls shook, dust and debris fell. Jason screamed as a shadow enveloped him completely. Emily tried to reach him, but the floor gave way, dropping her into darkness. Mark, paralyzed with fear, watched as the house consumed everything. Sarah ran, driven by some instinct she didn't understand. She reached the front door, which now looked ordinary, almost inviting. She pushed it open and stumbled outside. The sun had risen, the town silent. The house stood still as if nothing had happened. But when she looked back, she saw movement, faint silhouettes at the windows, whispering, waiting. Sarah fled down the mountain, never looking back. She survived, but the whispers never left her mind. At night, she could still hear them. Faint, persistent, next time, next time. The house in Hollow Creek waited, patient, hungry, eternal. And anyone curious enough to enter would learn the same terrifying truth. Some places whisper back,